Test, test. Ball this afternoon as Fort Lee hosts the Dumont Huskies. As the first pitch is over to Riley Fletcher, leading it off, freshman shortstop for Dumont, from Janelle Yang. Good afternoon and welcome. Ralph Benarchik on hand. Frigid temperatures outside, with a wind chill making it feel like it's in the high 40s, as you could tell by Janelle Yang's jersey, as the drop ball is in there for a strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fort Lee in at 2-4, 2-0 in league play, taking on a Dumont team that's shown that they can swing the bats. They're in at 4-6 on the year as a swing and a miss by Fletcher, and then the K23 putout by Eleanor Yu is the first out. The lineup for Dumont with Fletcher leading it off, freshman shortstop. Here's Lily Myers, junior center fielder, hitting number 2. Adriana Lovisa will bat number 3 in at third base. Senior catcher Genevieve Cruz and will bat 8th. Angelisa Maglione will be in right field, hitting 9th. Jess Saratella will play just in left field as she is flexed out. As a 2-0, and that's left upstairs. 3 balls and no strikes to Lily Myers. It's a team that brings back 6 award winners from a year ago, but also graduated a ton, as that's ball 3, or make that ball 4, as Myers works out a 4-pitch walk. A year ago, Dumont went 14-11, lost as a 10 seed at 7 seed High Point in a North 1 Group 2 first round game, but lost their starting pitcher, Charlotte Vesta, second team All Big North, as the first is able to pick up 2 runs on 2 hits, and they leave them loaded. Middle of the second now, 3-0 Dumont Huskies at Fort Lee. Home second inning, Fort Lee trailing Dumont 3-0 as a drop ball called strike to Taylor Sulis in the lineup for Fort Lee in the 6th spot. Meanwhile, Rosie Waver showed pretty good velocity for a freshman in the 1st inning where she struck out 2. Fort Lee was able to get 1st and 2nd, 2 down, but not score. 1-1 to Sulis. As this ball is popped, and the first baseman there to make the catch, Avalon Davis, will handle. Davis is an inspirational story for this Dumont team. When she'll bat, you'll notice that she's wearing braces on both knees. She has suffered back-to-back ACL tears each of the last 2 summers. As Chloe Park, freshman shortstop, takes a strike. And Tristan DeRosa has seen enough from her to play her at first base, and just enough confidence and mobility and the work she has done. As Park sends that in the air to center field, going back is Myers. That's over her head, up against the fence. Park is on her way to second, will make the turn on the way to third base, and it'll be a 1-out triple for Chloe Park. Well, Myers never got a good look at the ball off the bat as it was hit well. 3rd hit for the Bridgemen, and a chance to score a run with an out. And Park, seeing the ball hit in front of her, did not hesitate, turning second. Now Olivia Santana. As that pitch misses away. Santana, 2-year starting junior at first. And this ball hit in the air to right field. That'll drop for a base hit going to the fence. Santana will make the turn, but it'll be an RBI single the other way for Olivia Santana, and it's 3-1 as Fort Lee is on the board. Well, Santana noted for the power she can generate. That was an elevated pitch that she was able to take the other way. And freshman Raina Kim will bat. As Waver comes back with the strike, 1-1. Kim has been looking for a break recently, 0 for 14 at the plate so far. As this ball is lifted in the air on the infield, and the ball is dropped by Davis. Then the throw to second to pick up the force out. So Avalon Davis never got under the ball and reached for it, but she does recover. And Dumont gets an out, 2 away. So Olivia Santana, not much that she can do at first. As the play ends up going 3-6 on the force out. And to the top of the order for Sydney Kim. As there goes Kim running at Kim. Raina Kim will steal second base. Throw went to the shortstop side. Fletcher got there. If the throw is on the second base side, and Raina Kim could probably be out. And now Sydney Kim lines a ball, and that'll be caught by the third baseman, Lovisa. A pretty good bat on it, but Sydney Kim lines out, and the inning comes to an end. But Fort Lee picks up a run on 2 hits and leaving 1 in scoring position. 2 innings complete on a frigid afternoon. Now into later April in Fort Lee, it's 3-1 Dumont. Top of the third inning, and Janelle Yang to try to quiet these Dumont bats with Riley Bousquet leading off. And Bousquet, first pitch swinging, clubs the ball to left field, and that'll drop in for a base hit. So the ball left up, and Bousquet felt very comfortable in the box. And the leadoff runner is on for the second straight inning for the Huskies. Fourth hit for Dumont as Avalon Davis takes low, and taking off on the pitch will be Bousquet. So once Bousquet saw that Eleanor Yu didn't quite handle it cleanly, she decided to take off, and that'll be scored a wild pitch as Davis takes a strike, 1-1. Now 2 balls and a strike. Davis was able to lift a single her first time up. And that's away. 3 balls and a strike. So Avalon Davis, ACL tears each summer, still came back midway through last year and hit very well. 3-1 is outside, ball 4. And the first 2 aboard in the third for Dumont. Davis came back with just enough time in mid-April last year to be first team All-Big North American. Now Haley Langford squaring to bunt and bunts that foul. Langford was hit by a pitch and later scored a run in the second. And Langford takes outside, ball 1. And taking all the way, and Langford takes strike 2. Rosie Waver on deck. With Yang missing in, should be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Riley Bousquet, the lead runner in front of you, on at second. And the 2-2 is a drop ball in there for a called strike 3. Well, Langford appeared taking earlier, and after bunting, she never looked comfortable. 4th strikeout for Janelle Yang, and there's 1 out for Rosie Waver. And Yang is able to spin the strike to the upper part of the plate. And gets the same spot, strike 2. So that's the pitch that has been working very well. Same for Rosie Waver. And a swing, and that ball is caught by you, strike 3. So Yang's spin has started. She's shown flashes where she can repeat it. 2 outs, 2 on for the number 9 batter, Angelisa Maglione. Maglione was able to lay down a perfect bunt for a single last inning. And this time Yang misses away with that first pitch for ball 1. Yang has struck out 5 and has walked 3. As that misses for ball 3. So Yang trying to find that upper part of the zone again. She showed a good drop curve last inning that helped her. And is able to come right back with Maglione taking all the way for a strike, 3-1. Maglione brings a lot of speed. Typically hits in the 1 or 2 spot, or actually usually lower in the order. As the 3-1, there's the drop ball, 3-2. Was hurt last year. This is her first year on the varsity. With first and second, and the 3-2. And that's away for ball 4. So the bases are loaded again for Dumont as Davis will push up to second and Bousquet to third at the top of the order for Riley Fletcher. And a ground ball right back to Yang. She'll go to first, and the inning comes to an end. Side retired. Dumont strands 3. Janelle Yang able to work back after the first 2 get on base to hold the line here. It stays 3-1 Dumont, middle of the third. Home third inning, 3-1 Dumont, as Eleanor Yu leads it off against Rosie Waver and takes ball 1. Waver struck out the first 2 Fort Lee hitters before the Bridgemen started to get some better swings, 1-1. And the second inning concluded with a line out by Sydney Kim with 2 runners on base. And Yu gets ahead of the count, 2 balls and a strike. Eleanor had a good basketball season, finishing up honorable mention All Big North American as a high-pressure guard. That's ball 3. But starting a catcher for the first time this year after 2 years at shortstop. As this 3-1 is sent to first on the pickup, Davis, and she'll flip on to her second baseman for the out. And there's 1 retired. So Riley Bousquet able to get over there to cover, and the play goes 3-4. As here's Kayla Richmond. And talking to Billy Straub about his team, they're still very young with 6 underclassmen starting consistently, and Richmond being at the genesis of that thought and being a sophomore at a key spot in center field. But likes the versatility that they have, and they have some depth this year. So there are some real position battles taking place. 2-0 to Richmond as this ball is skied in the air to center, and Myers cannot come up with it. It's played on a hop by Maglione and right. And Kayla Richmond with a couple of bloop hits to the outfield. She's 2 for 2. Fort Lee feeling like they have about 5 infielders for the 4 spots that can play those positions, and it's a matter of placing the right people in the right spots as soon as possible to really see a takeoff. As Janelle Yang takes ball 1 off the glove of Cruz behind the plate. Janelle, probably the second hardest hit ball Fort Lee has had. A ground single to the left side. This one on the ground again to third. The throw will go to second, and it's dropped. Adriana Lavisa double clutched. And I think the error is on Bousquet, although it would have been probably not in time. But Fort Lee has 2 on with 1 out. Both Lavisa's hesitation and that also threw off Busquets. But it'll be a 5-E4 force out. 2-1 with one down for Alexis Sarrace. We'll have our courtesy runner on at first for Yang as Alexa takes off the plate. She bounced down into a 5 unassisted force out to close out the first inning. As Sarrace chases the drop ball, 1-1. And specific to Coach Straub's point has been the emergence of Sarrace now as an infielder that he could feel really good about starting in a spot, and then where else to move someone else to get her bat in the lineup. She's in the lineup today as the DP. Rosie Waver, freshman in the circle for Dumont, 2-1. And that's way outside ball 3. Three balls and a strike. And Sarrace checked her swing. That is strike 2. Waver with the full count pitch. And this one is on the ground to third. Stepping on the bag at third for an out. Thrown back across by Lavisa is in time for the double play. Well, Lavisa redeemed herself. That time there was no hesitation. She was able to take the ball easily to third and then get enough on the throw across the diamond to pick up the 5-3 double play. Fort Lee with 2 on, 1 out, and could not get any of them in. No runs, a hit, and there was 1 left on base. 3 innings complete in Fort Lee. It stays 3-1 Dumont Huskies. Start of the 4th inning, first pitch swinging, as Janelle Yang will pick up a foul ball off the bat of Lily Myers. Lily's a junior, and she reached on a key play in the 2nd inning. A fielder's choice at the shortstop Chloe Park, whose throw to third to Raina Kim was not in time. That would have been the 3rd out. Instead, it ended up with the bases loaded, being a 2-0 game, as that's outside 2-1. And then a Adriana Lavisa bases loaded wild pitch would make it 3-0. That's 3-1 from Yang. Myers had a strong finish to last year to put her into position to be the starting center fielder this year, as the 3-1 fouled off. And she's coming off of 2 games ago, a big game in that win against Paramus. 3 for 5, driving in 2, stealing 2 bags. Janelle Yang for Fort Lee's 3-2. And this is lifted in the air down the left field side. And that'll be foul. Lily Myers primarily is more of a soccer player. Plays travel soccer. second team All Big North American in the fall in that sport. As this 3-2 is also fouled. Well, hitters on both sides have been able to make pretty good adjustment after the first inning to the opposing pitcher with better swings. As that 3-2 is outside for ball 4. So the fifth walk issued by Yang, and for the third time in 4 plate appearances, Dumont puts the leadoff runner on as Lovisa will bat. And this time Yang is able to get that pitch that she was trying to get to Myers for strike 1. As Lovisa hangs in and bounces that foul. (3-1) Dumont batting in the top of the 4th. First of 2 meetings between the division rivals this year. As that 0-2 pitch is away, there goes the runner, Myers. She'll steal second. The ball will go into center field. The throw by Richmond is not in time. So stolen base and then throwing error on Yu behind the plate. As that one missed the shortstop park and a runner on at third base with nobody down for Dumont. So on an 0-2 pitch, Myers took off. And the 1-2 to Lovisa swung on and missed. So she chases ball 2. And Yang comes up with the strikeout. That is her 6th. And this will bring up senior Genevieve Cruz. Cruz with a solid double, her first time to drive in the first Dumont run. That's ball 1 off the plate. Dumont is a 4-year starter. As Yang comes back with the strike. We'll make that actually the last 2 years starting. Third base last year, catcher this year. And the swing at the changeup, 1-2. Genevieve Cruz will play next year at Hunter College in the Division III CUNY Athletic Conference. And the 1-2 as she pulls foul. And Tristan DeRosa thrilled for her. And particularly the value that she brings as a physical and strong catcher for the college level. 1-2 in there for a called strike 3. And great spin again from Janelle Yang. So she continues to show batter to batter that she can sometimes lose it and then get that spin and control back. 2 away. Now Riley Bousquet. With the runner Myers on at third. As that's ball 2. Bousquet, her last plate appearance, was able to lift the ball, the other to left field for a single. And then Yang will challenge with her fastball to get a foul off. 2 balls and a strike. Again, Fort Lee to try to keep the score on the line right where it is, 3-1. And a swing and a miss at the drop curve, 2-2. And Bousquet will pop this up. And that'll be a foul ball. Out of the reach of Santana. Certainly was catchable. I think initially off the bat, Santana might have thought that it was going to go further than it did. And Eleanor Yu was not able to see it as it dropped in harmlessly. So it'll be another 2-2 pitch coming. And the 2-2 is in there for a called strike three. The drop ball does land in the lower part of the zone. 3 straight strikeouts for Janelle Yang to get out of it. So Dumont leaves a runner on at third, does not score. Middle of the fourth, it's remaining 3-1 Dumont Huskies. Bottom of the fourth inning, Taylor Sulis will take the first pitch away from Rosie Waver. And that's ball 2 inside. Our center field camera right now, unfortunately blocked by Lily Myers, who is in center field. We'll see if that'll change during the next at-bat. Taylor had popped up to the first baseman her first time, as now Rosie Waver will get the outer part of the plate. 2 balls and a strike. As Sulis will come up with a foul ball. Taylor in her senior year went 2 for 3 in a loss at Westwood for Fort Lee. As she reaches for the 2-2 and sends it in the air to second. Bousquet waiting for it, and Bousquet drops the ball. Well, Bousquet did not get her feet under her, and that'll be an E4, and Fort Lee will bring the tying run to the plate in the fourth inning. So Sulis is on base. Bousquet was waiting for it to come down, and then sort of got uncertain and reached up for the ball and ended up just not squeezing it because the rest of her body wasn't quite comfortable. So here's Chloe Park, tripled to deep center field her first time, and has scored Fort Lee's lone run. And now this ball is sent to short. On the ground, getting one out is Fletcher to first in time double play. Second double play turned by Dumont. A hard shot to short, and Riley Fletcher very confidently ranged over to her left to make the play. So 2 outs and nobody on for Olivia Santana. Well, Tristan DeRosa telling me about Riley Fletcher, how she is such a natural athlete with great intangibles, and made the varsity basketball team this year and played a good chunk at Dumont as a freshman. But travel softball is her passion. As Santana takes low for ball 2. And Fletcher showed just really good instincts of going after the ball, sensing where the second base bag was too with her feet. And a swing at the drop ball for Santana, 2-1. Olivia with an RBI single her first time up. 3-1. Raina Kim on deck, hoping to get a turn. And Waver extends the strike zone as Santana fouls it off, 3-2. And Waver back at it. This one is lined to right, or rather at the first baseman. Tough one-hopper that Avalon Davis will handle and take it to the bag herself. No runs, no hits. There was an error, but nobody left on base as Fort Lee goes down in order. We're through 4. It remains 3-1 Dumont. Start of the 5th inning at Fort Lee High School as Avalon Davis, who's been on base twice, a fly single to center and the walk. And first pitch swinging, skies it in the air to left field. And coming in is Sidney Kim for the first easy out. So on an elevated pitch, after Davis had some long at-bats with numerous foul-offs, and Yang gets her out easily. One away for Haley Langford. And Langford swings through the drop ball. Langford was caught looking last time after Yang's drop ball on strikes 2 and 3 really seemed to fool her. And Langford taking there, 0-2. And then Yang see if she will chase the bait. She won't. 1 ball and 2 strikes, leading with 1 down in the 5th inning. And a swing and a miss again at the drop ball. And Langford is down on strikes. 9 strikeouts for Janelle Yang, and there's 2 gone in the 5th. So Langford's just not being able to see the ball out of the hand coming out from Yang well, those last 2 plate appearances, as Waver will pick up a strike. And then Yang misses away. Well, Janelle, she has a plan up there. And a swing and the miss, chasing out of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Senior Jenna Yang. And that misses, so it's going to be 3 balls and a strike. And Waver chases the pitch, elevated, pops it up. Third baseman Raina Kim is in and makes the catch in fair territory, and the inning comes to an end. A 1-2-3 clean inning for Jenna Yang. Huskies go down quietly in the 5th with Fort Lee trailing 3-1. Home fifth inning, 3-1 Dumont with Raina Kim in the number 9 batter. Here leading it off as Rosie Waver with her first pitch that really missed for ball 1. Raina popped up into what ended up being a 3-6 force out pop-up. As now Waver right back with her control, 1-1. And Raina still looking for some good luck. But a good arm at third. And a talented varsity bowler swing and a miss at the drop ball. So down at 1-2. And Raina, the other pitcher, along with Jenna Yang for Fort Lee, that is available to throw perhaps the 6th and 7th innings. As now Waver sends that off the plate that Kim does not swing at. Raina was able to throw 5 innings but did walk 9 in the loss at Westwood. As this 2-2 is ripped in the air down the left field side, and that'll be fair into the corner. Raina Kim on her way to second base. As the ball went to the corner, now she stumbles and will go back to second. First hit of the season for Raina Kim, and it's a leadoff double in the 5th inning. Billy Straub mentioning she had some bad luck recently. The balls wouldn't drop for her, and that's a solidly hit ball. Second extra base hit for Fort Lee, and now the bunt attempted by Sydney Kim goes foul. Sixth hit for the Bridgemen. So Kim getting the signs distributed to her. Raina on at second. As this ball will drop low. And over to third base goes Kim. As that misses up and away, ball 2. So a chance for the Bridgemen to get within 1 just with some soft contact. And ball 3 to Sydney Kim. The infield likely pinched into the corners. And the 3-1. Good pitch from Rosie Waver, 3-2. Rosie's come up in the rec program learning softball, not quite yet travel softball. 3-2. On the outside corner, strike 3 looking. So a big first out for Waver. That's just her 3rd strikeout, but the first since the second batter of the 1st inning, after she struck out the first 2. So now it's up to Eleanor Yu. Raina Kim on at third, as now Yu swings and misses at the pitch. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Now time called, and Billy Straub out to have a word. You could tell how windy it is based on our center field camera. Temperature is right about 48, 49 degrees. And with the wind, you can bring that down a couple degrees more. And you can see Lily Myers looking pretty cold in center. And the 1-1, that's outside. 2 balls and a strike. Fort Lee threatening to come within a run. 2-1. This one is nubbed. And it'll roll foul over towards the Fort Lee dugout along the third baseline. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eleanor Yu, the number 2 hitter in the Fort Lee lineup. Waver's pitch, and that's popped up. Davis, and Avalon Davis could not reach it as it drops harmlessly in front of the first base dugout, and we'll do it again at 2-2. Waver to the plate. This one, a line drive, a base hit to center field. Eleanor Yu will drive in the run as Raina Kim scores. It's now a 3-2 game in the fifth. Yu looking very comfortable and jumping on that drop ball. So Fort Lee climbs back within a run. And they have their number 3 hitter, Kayla Richmond, with the tying run on at first base. As Richmond takes a strike. So now we'll see if Eleanor Yu might take off. And this is a hot shot hit too short. The pickup by Fletcher. The throw not in time. It gets past Davis, going to third base, and now making the turn to throw to the plate. Not in time. And Fort Lee has tied the game at 3. On to second is Richmond after the infield single and throwing error by Riley Fletcher at short. Well, Fletcher rushed the throw and put it in the turf. And there can be a lot of room down the foul line. If you throw it at the right angle, it'll pass the dugout fence, and that's where you really have to chase for it. As Jenna Yang takes the first pitch off the plate. As this ball is hit well, and that'll be fair down the left field side. Richmond will score. The throw will come into third. Safe at second base is Yang, but Fort Lee has taken the lead 4-3 in the fifth inning. Well, time is going to be called, and out comes Tristan DeRosa with another runner on at second base as that ball hit well by Yang and pulled it through the left side. Alexis Serace will be the batter. Yang remains in at second, and we'll see if Coach Billy Straub perhaps will send out a runner for her. Serace has hit the ball on the ground twice, and Waver to the plate and starts her off with a strike. And this one is hit on the ground to third. Lavisa will go across. She'll get the out. Crossing over to third base is Yang, and there's 2 away. So Lavisa could have looked at the runner just for a moment and made sure that Yang was not going to go to third base. But she was worried about the quickness of Serace to get the out there as Taylor Sulis will take off the plate. Fort Lee has taken the lead with 3 runs in the fifth. And that's ball 2 outside. And Waver with a good pitch on 2-0. It's the pinch runner Paolo Mazzola who is aboard at third base, running for Yang. And Waver comes back and gets it even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs with Fort Lee batting in this fifth inning. Three and 2. An insurance run standing at third. Sulis reached on an E4 pop-up last time. And the 3-2 is in there for a called strike 3. Now the umpire's been calling the pitch up in the zone, and Waver is just able to float it there and picks up the strikeout. Waver with a couple of strikeouts in the inning, but Fort Lee takes the lead for the first time today. 3 runs on 4 hits, and they leave 1. 5 innings complete at Fort Lee. It's now 4-3 Bridgemen. First pitch bunting, and Angelisa Maglione is going to get on base with a beautiful bunt single right back to the pitcher. A beautiful drag bunt. And immediately the tying run is on base for Dumont to open up the 6th inning. That's a perfect bunt, as Riley Fletcher, top of the order, will take a drop ball strike. So Maglione is 2 for 2, has been on base all 3 times. And Yang misses away, 1-1. Meanwhile, Riley Fletcher sitting on an 0 for 3. And Jenna Yang misses outside with the drop curve, 2-1. Keep an eye on Maglione, whether or not she might take off on Eleanor Yu behind the plate. And Yang picks up strike 2. So from my view, certainly the umpire, as now the wind, another gust comes in. Certainly the right-hand batters, he is really extending there. And the 1-2 swung on and missed as Fletcher chased out of the zone. And that was certainly set up by the previous pitch. 10 strikeouts for Jenna Yang, 1 away. Now Lily Myers. As Yang, to right-hand batters, has maintained both the drop curve low and then to see if they will extend and swing out of the strike zone. As Myers takes strike 1. And hard to tell where we are broadcasting from inside the gym exactly the extent of how far outside the pitches are going. And swing and a miss on the drop curve inside. And then a quick throw by Yu to first. And not nearly in time there on Maglione. But it's a ball and 2 strikes. There goes the runner, and the throw by Yu is late. It's thrown way over second base with Bella Plout covering. And safely in at second is Maglione. So now the tying run is on at second, and it'll be a 2-2 pitch coming to Lily Myers. And Myers will club a ball to pretty deep left field. Left fielder Sydney Kim going back, and that'll drop in for a hit. Rounding third is Maglione. She'll score, and there'll be a run-scoring double to tie the game for Lily Myers in the 6th inning. Well, Myers hit it well. It had to be over the head of Sydney Kim out of her camera view. And Myers able to get to second base easily. Looked like the runner, Maglione, had to hold up a little bit to see if Kim could track it down. And a swing and a miss by Adriana Lavisa. So a 4-4 game with Dumont still batting in the 6th. And Lavisa lines a ball to center. That'll fall in front of Richmond. Making the turn is Myers. The float to the plate, and Myers is hung up. Yu will throw to Kim at third. Now in a rundown. Yang will try to tag her, and Yang will tag her out. Taking second base is Lavisa, and the second out recorded. A strong throw made by Kayla Richmond, and there was going to be no chance for Myers there. Most times the high school softball third base coach is going to send the runner, but Kayla Richmond is a much better than average player. So it's a single to center. Lavisa takes second on the throw, but a big out recorded between third and home. 2-5-1 on that eventual rundown. Here's Genevieve Cruz swinging and missing at the first pitch from Jenna Yang. And Cruz will send the ball in the air to left. Kim going back, and that is going to drop. Or rather, it had to have been caught by Sydney Kim, and the inning comes to an end. So a much more playable ball. And Cruz retired, but Dumont has tied the game at 4. A run on 3 hits and 1 left on base. The big play the rundown between third and home. We go ahead to the bottom of the 6th inning. Fort Lee and Dumont are tied at Fort Lee. We head into the bottom of the 6th inning. Fort Lee and Dumont are now tied at 4. Ralph Bignorchik on hand here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Chloe Park will lead things off for the Bridgemen. And a pair of freshmen as Rosie Waver misses outside for ball 1. Fort Lee 4 runs on 9 hits. And that's a 2-ball count to Chloe, who has tripled and then hit into a 6-3 double play. And on 2-0, Waver will drop in a strike. Probably the best defensive play made was the double play that was turned and started by Riley Fletcher at shortstop for Dumont. Because Chloe hit the ball very hard towards the middle of the diamond with a runner on base against about 95% of the high school shortstops. That's through for a hit. And the 3-1 is slashed foul. 3-2 leading off the 6th inning. Meanwhile, Waver was able to strike out 2 in the 5th, but Fort Lee was able to come up with 3 runs on 4 hits in that inning. And the 3-2 lined in the air. Little one-hopper to short. Fletcher across for the out. A decent swing for Park, but kind of swung and didn't have her full body behind it as it dropped innocently in front of Fletcher, who shows a good arm, and there's 1 away. As Olivia Santana will bat. For Fort Lee, this is their first real test in terms of a close game. Sitting at 2-4, 2 lopsided wins, and I'd say about 3 of the 4 losses have been lopsided. Their closest game in terms of a final score, a 9-5 loss at Hawthorne, where there was really 1 bad inning that did the Bridgemen in. And Santana will nub one in front of the plate. Genevieve Cruz will pick it up and toss over to Avalon Davis. And there's 2 down. Meanwhile, the experience is on the Dumont side because they are 4-6. They've played 4 more games coming in as Raina Kim will come to bat, including 2 pretty close ones, both that the Huskies have won. And Kim swings through the changeup from Rosie Waver, 0-1. It's all about location for Rosie Waver, and I'd say here through just about 6 innings, she has had it today. As that's pulled foul, 0-2. But Fort Lee hitters, second and especially third time through the order, have been able to make adjustments against her, and credit the Fort Lee coaching staff. And the 0-2 is in there for a called strike three. A clean sixth inning for Rosie Waver, who has struck out 5. And the Bridgemen go down in order in the 6th. We head to the 7th of a tie game at 4 in Fort Lee. Start of the 7th inning of a tie game as Riley Bousquet leads off for Dumont, and Jenna Yang misses outside. Yang has struck out 10. Has also walked 5. As she comes back on the 0-1. And she has been able to probe and manipulate the outer edge of the strike zone with her drop ball the entire afternoon as Bousquet fouls it off. And putting the ball right on the black in the gray area where Dumont hitters have been guessing, do they swing at it or do they let it go? And the umpire has been granting an extension of the strike zone. This time Bousquet will pull that ball foul. And what that's done is that's prevented, I'd say, a good majority of the Dumont hitters from being able to pull the ball and barrel it up. 1-2 misses in. Bousquet 1 for 3. And the 2-2, this is pulled on the ground to third. Raina Kim across, and the scoop by Santana for the first out of the 7th. Well done by Olivia Santana. Kim, watching her in infield warm-up, she definitely has enough of an arm, but she left that ball short. And Olivia Santana made it look easy on the scoop. So 1 down for Avalon Davis. As looks like the umpire was about to give a strike, instead it's ball 1, indicating it was a little high. And now Davis pushes that on the ground, and that is foul, 1-1. And Davis, again, that pitch on the outer edge, fouls it off, and Yang gets ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yang has had 1 clean inning so far. That came in the 5th. And the 1-2, and again, Davis reaching for the pitch on the outer edge. And Davis sends this ball to left field, or rather to the third baseman Kim, and Kim with the diving stop, but cannot come up with the out. So Davis is safe, and we'll see if she might be pinch run for. Hard to tell. Looked like Raina Kim did come up with a diving stop to her left. And now we will get a pinch runner for Davis aboard at first. And Haley Langford will be up in what could be a bunt situation. Langford trying to get the bunt down in the second and third innings could not. She struck out the last 2 plate appearances. And now swinging away and fouls it off of the plate. There goes the runner. The throw down by Yu is not in time. The pitch runner, Katie Kelly, she'll steal second, and the go-ahead run now in scoring position. Throw by Yu is a good one, but to the shortstop side. As Langford takes away, it's 2 balls and a strike. And then Yang will come back with the same pitch that has worked so well for her this afternoon. 2 balls and 2 strikes. She's had a really good feel of the outer edge of the strike zone. And the 2-2, Langford sends it in the air to left field, and that'll drop for a base hit along the line. Kelly will hold up at third base as the ball is retrieved quickly by Sydney Kim. A floating single down the left field line for Haley Langford, first and third with 1 down for Dumont. Ball was hit in front of the pinch runner, freshman Katie Kelly, so she was able to see it. And that time, Tristan DeRosa did not send her, so time is called. And out comes Billy Straub here to talk to Jenna Yang. Rosie Waver is the scheduled batter. And Fort Lee has to talk through situations here. You have Langford, a quick runner on at first base, who's likely going to take off and take second. And now, does Fort Lee elect to throw down? Do they throw it back to the pitcher, Yang, and try to perhaps catch Katie Kelly from third, trying to score on the back end of a double steal? And actually, it won't be waiver batting, and this is going to be a pinch hitter. There goes the runner, and taking second without a throw, a fake throw by Yu, is Langford. So the uncontested stolen base. And the pinch hitter is going to be sophomore Faith McAllister hitting for Waver. And McAllister swings and misses there, 0-2. So this is a left-handed batter, so I think Tristan DeRosa, to try to neutralize Jenna Yang's pitches on the now inside part of the plate to a lefty, where those same pitches that could be strikes to righties or balls to lefties, as McAllister pulls this foul. A ball and 2 strikes. Runners on at second and third for Dumont, trying to take the lead in the top of the 7th. Yang's 1-2, and McAllister just gets a piece to foul it off. Infield in, likely in at the corners for Fort Lee, and probably in at second with Plout, and shortstop with Chloe Park. And McAllister sends his ball to right field, and that will be a foul ball. McAllister waits, and Yang swings and gets the strikeout. Yang will strike her out on the pitch, up and in. McAllister has fouled off the last 2, and now there's 2 away. 11 strikeouts for Jenna Yang. And it'll be up to Riley Fletcher. And Fletcher, first pitch swinging, fouls it off. Well, McAllister likely swung at ball 2. And Yang was able to use that same pitch that she's been getting strikes on to righties and getting the lefty McAllister to swing at. And this pitch inside, and that hits Fletcher, and the bases will be loaded for the Dumont Huskies. So Yang perhaps overthrowing, and they're loaded for a quick runner in Lily Myers. Time called, and Billy Straub will bring out Eleanor Yu and the entire infield to talk over the situation. Lily Myers doubled and tied the game up at 4 her last time up. She's 1 for 2 with a pair of walks. Fort Lee and Dumont tied at 4. Dumont had taken the early lead in this game and led 3-1 after an inning and a half before Fort Lee got a run back on Olivia Santana RBI single the second. It would stay that way until Fort Lee scored 3 runs on 4 hits in the 5th inning. The big hit, the Jenna Yang RBI double down the left field line to make it 4-3. And then Lily Myers tied the game up last inning on a double. And then Adriana Lovisa's single could have given Dumont the lead, but the runner was thrown out in Myers between third and home. First pitch swinging, Myers on the ground to third, and it's handled by Kim at third to pick up the force out. Inning over. Myers chased the first pitch, and Fort Lee excited as they come off the field. So Dumont will strand the runners. Well, hold on a moment. Then what could have been? Then this must have finished at 4-3, and that's how the ball game ends. So we apologize that we didn't have exactly the right score there. It appeared it was 4-4 that whole time, and instead that force out at third, hit by Lily Myers to Raina Kim at third, retires the side, and Dumont strands the tying and game-winning runs or go-ahead runs on in the top of the 7th inning. So Fort Lee will take this one to pick up their 3rd win of the season, and by far their best win, and a 1-run victory for Fort Lee. So the Bridgemen victorious with Jenna Yang in the circle. Jenna will go the distance, striking out 11 as the Bridgemen will pick up the victory today as they hold off the Dumont Huskies with the bases loaded and 2 down, and Lily Myers grounding out into the force out. That'll do it for all of us here. Got great sponsors of Fort Lee High School Softball and Fort Lee Athletics on our YouTube channel with Cafasos Fairway Market, Dynamic Evidence, Fort Lee Baseball, Balatano's Hook and Ladder Fire Department, It's Greek to Me Restaurant, Franco's Metro Pizza, Roberto's Restaurant, Ridgeco Properties, VFW Post, Chapter 2342, Neil Grant and Family, The Finest Construction, Stepmark Contracting, NV Recording, Fort Lee PBA, ARC Print Services, Fort Lee Girls Youth Softball League, and Angelina Bakery of Fort Lee. Thank you. 4-3 is the final as Fort Lee holds off a Dumont threat with the bases loaded in the top of the 7th inning. That'll do it until next time as the Bridgemen improve to 3-4 in the season, while Dumont falls to 4-7.